1 through level 10, it's mainly in our mind to be like an introductory phase in the game.
Hmm.
It's not like anywhere close late game. And I think that's just like what Lumiterra is missing. Kind of just that dopamine hit of like, yo, I'm actually progressing. I feel it, and my numbers going up.
Yeah, I mean, so my take on it, uh, like, my take actually is yes, it's in comparison. But after the week that we've had, I don't know how else to really be. The single chain, two MMOs, both come at the similar time. So there's obviously going to be comparisons there. But yeah, the Lumaterra experience in on one side of the coin is good because it's arguably more traditional MMO where it's like there aren't any guardrails. Like it's pretty, like it's very hardcore MMO. Like if you've played MMOs, like you should like it and it should suit you and it should be like something that you're like, oh, this is cool, and you kind of will get accustomed to it quickly. But I feel like there was no guardrails. There wasn't much guidance. Yes, the quests are pretty simple out the gate, but the structure of the actual experience was just totally different to what you got in the Forgotten Runeverse. Like I remember, after about an hour, 2 hours of playing Forgotten Runeverse, I was like, this tutorial, this game intro is fantastic. Like I feel like one, there was a lot of progression in that tutorial. You got considerably better from the beginning of the tutorial of obviously being a pleb and no magic and not being able to go into any of the areas where mobs are. And then at the end of the tutorial, you kind of have a gist of everything you need to be like crafting and how to get those things. So there was a lot more guidance, and like we was talking about it yesterday, how Forgotten Universe was structured. It was like area by area by area, and the story and yourself, your own character, progress kind of in tandem with that. So if some people could say that that is quite guardrailed because it was like you don't go to this area until you're this level, and you'll get to that level in this area, and here's three quests, and it was kind of like copy pasta in every area, but just different, different quests, different enemies, and the levels are rising. Whereas Lumaterra is pretty much like, here's the entire world, go and do whatever the fuck you want, right? And nobody really guides you directly. So I'm seeing in the chat that like it's cutting in or out. I don't know, bro. Maybe it's this North Carolina um internet because some
Yeah,
people are hearing it well.
maybe.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah, I
know,
mean,
bro.
it's just earlier I had to run Discord as admin, and then it was good. Now it's just like cutting in and out, but I think it should be okay.
Yeah,
We'll figure it
well,
out.
um, but yeah, it just feels like Lumaterra is, it's so grindy, bro. I don't know how else to talk about it. It's so grindy. Like you literally, like it took me 2 hours to get through the two, like the first few quests, and that's not even done yet, and it was like 2.5 hours. Now I've just got to the point where I understand token tasks and things like that. So it, as an intrinsic perspective, it was nowhere near satisfactory in the way that Forgotten Universe was. However, there is already an open and alive ecosystem. Mavis Market, they're number two in the last 24 hours. So people are transacting. There is actual value there. I had a conversation with some people later on in the day yesterday, and they spoke about how, you know, like we were having a contradict, like we were having a conflict in terms of, you know, this game's too grindy. It's not that fun. I'm constantly clicking, but then it circled to the point of, but a piece of rock is 2 RON, but a bow and arrow has sold for $1,000. So like the money aspect, the monetary value, the economics of Lumaterra arguably are going to keep people's interest because it already has prior. We've seen that in Arbitrum and the amount of people that are already fans of the IP and the game. So is it really Like you have two things here. You have Forgotten Runiverse, which is incredible IP, huge intrinsic value, and this game experience that a lot of people will be passionately enjoying without too much concern on economics, even though there will be a focus put in that direction. And then Lumaterra is again great IP, but it's more so about an economy and a very hardcore MMO players grind area for them to arbitrage and really dominate in terms of they know how to farm, or they've positioned themselves best to farm XYZ, and they're going to uphold this economy and get that arbitrage, right? I really see that that's how those two games are going to exist. I don't think they conflict. You're either a fan of one or the other, and if you're a fan of both, well, you better do nothing for your job so that you can spend all your time in it, because they are both time consuming. But I just feel like intrinsically, Forgotten Runiverse was phenomenally better, and Lumaterra economically, because they already have the open ecosystem, is economically better in the now. But it's still early days. I don't know if anyone agrees with that, but let me know in the chats as well, like which is your preference as of right now. I actually want to know a preference, and I know it's early and we can't have foundational, oh my god, 100% this one, but like I want to know where your heads are at right now, to see what's valued by you guys in the community. And if you're here on the live stream as well, yeah, just put it in the chats, we'll be able to see it. What about you? What about you, Mr. Logic, though? Because it's a big one. We'll go to Stark. I know, Stark. I love you, bro. But like,
usually we're better connected, so I thought you were gonna call me, and then never mind. Sorry, go ahead, Logic.
Yeah, I've got bad Wi-Fi today, so.
I mean, I actually think fundamentally, like if we took away all the grinding of Lumaterra, I feel different about it. I feel the opposite. Um, I think Lumaterra's like movement, combat, and general gameplay stuff is a bit better. I do think that Runiverse was a bit too easy. Like for example, the main thing I did in Runiverse was use my left pointer finger on my mouse, clicking spells and clicking through the map. I
Left
seldomly
pointer?
use,
Wait, you use your
yeah,
mouse in your left hand?
or right pointer.
Oh
My
my
right
god, I was
pointer.
about to vomit all over this fucking screen right here.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
and yeah, so like Runiverse, right? It's just like mainly clicking right pointer finger on your left mouse button. I seldomly use WASD. Definitely used it mainly on the stairs, but most of the time it was just mainly clicking. Everything was click based.
Yeah.
I think if
But it's a
they
browser.
added like, yeah, it's a browser, but if they added, for example, hotkeys, right? Like hotkeys for the spells in combat.
There is
1, 2, 3,
hotkeys for the
4.
spells?
Was there really?
Yeah.
Do you use them?
Bro, you actually don't read, innit?
No, I didn't. Dude, I just clicked through my shit for all
1,
the
2, 3,
spells.
4, bro. You can assign the spells. Same way in Lumaterra, you can use the quick for the equipment swaps.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm completely wrong because I thought it was all click based. Like through the tutorial, bro, I just fucking ran through that shit. I sped ran that shit. I was
That's
like,
what I'm
but
saying.
this works.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess we'll go into movements and like combat and all that. I think the combat in Lumaterra is really nice. Like the dodging, the space bar. I kind of just like movement abilities in general. Being able to move the camera, being able to like visually see on a 3D perspective where you're going is something that I kind of like a little bit more. I mean, I do like top-down games. I mean, Ragnarok Online was a top-down game, bird's eye view, which is still pretty nice. But I mean, I don't know, man. Lumaterra, I think it does have issues in terms of just how hard it is and how it just doesn't feel like I'm progressing much. Like you guys said, right? You guys are trying to gather rocks or you guys are trying to gather branches. And it's hard as hell to even get those things done in a short amount of
Bro,
time.
it took me an hour to get 3 pumpkin pieces, and I must have killed maybe 70, 450 in that region of enemies to get 3 fucking items from an 18 or 6 was it 18.5% drop rate. Of course, we're figuring more things out. We're gonna go into more detail on it. But yeah, it just didn't feel fun. Like there was no
Yeah.
aspect of fun for me because the combat is like you're saying Runiverse was click based. Motherfucker, my index finger is hurting. I'm gonna have arthritis at the age of 30 if we continue this way. Like,
Did you guys get the spells though in Lumiterra? Like the trample spell, for example.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And obviously you cast it with Q, E, or R. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
to me that just feels a little bit better. And I think I'm a minority, and that's okay. Like we can have like different feelings about it. I'm
but
gonna
this
get
is the
on it
thing. I
more
didn't
today
even.
too.
Yeah, but I didn't even get far enough to get to the point where I'm like, oh, this combat's actually cool. Like, I just think that the way that the game begins is so just fucking throw you into the thick of it. Even though the quests are like it's step by step, it's all in one area. Like there are guide rails in that aspect, but in general, like it doesn't build me into the world. Like after the first hour of Runiverse, I was hooked. I wanted to explore the world. I knew, in certain ways, a shaded understanding of how I wanted to play and what I wanted to do and the things I wanted to go and experience. Whereas in Lumaterra, I'm just like, what the fuck do I do? And then you look at token tasks and see that it is, it's monetarily driven. And then I found myself doing the token task, which I didn't complete because after an hour and a half of trying to complete a token task, I was not very close to completing it anyway. And I was like, well, I'm not going to sit here for 7 hours to make point 0.1 run. Like, that makes no sense to me. But of course, there is a market, and if you spend the time and you have the resources, and then you have excess resources, obviously there's an open market to sell those things. So, like, I get it, but at the same time, I don't feel invested in the game. I don't feel understanding of the world, the universe. Those things are definitely missing for me in Lumaterra. So, um, like I'd just like to feel more attachment to a game when I open it up. Like, yes, I understand there's an economy going on here, and this is Web3, so there's advantages there, but I have no passion attachment to Lumaterra
What's
after playing for
the
3 hours.
what's the most played Web3 game?
The most,
Pixels is
yeah.
when people spend. You just saw it on this event this weekend. People can spend 14 hours a day clicking, and there's no backstory, there's no lore. They're building that like afterwards, so it's a legitimate criticism of Lumaterra. But in Web3, the simple fact is, it's the economy that matters first, and if they can get it, it'll all depend on how they iterate with this going. But that alone is enough to get a game like um to get a
I
game
mean,
going,
yes, yes, for the
I when
current
I
user
started
base.
when I started playing Pixels before I got hooked, I was just like, Jesus, this is so much fucking clicking. Like,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
once you get like once you and I hate those types of games, and I hate the what I really like about Pixels, and that once I decide whether because my Windows, I don't know if you saw the screenshot I
I
sent,
saw it.
but
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
Windows
You have to
is
run
is
anyway.
telling me
It's the same. Yeah, I think everyone's
yeah,
experienced the same. It was the same for me.
uh, I'm deciding if I should or not, so I haven't tried the game yet. But what I really like about Pixels is the energy system, so you can step away. I think, and this is like a maybe it might be a weird take, but like MMOs and stuff like that, like the old generation that we've all played, where the moment you step away from your computer, you're missing out. Like you'd be progressing more if you played 24 hours a day. Um, it's like super unhealthy, and it's like not. I don't think it's going to be what trends this generation and stuff like that, because we've all got like busier lives, etc., or at least we feel like we have busier lives. So you need to have a game that addresses that, which is why I like the energy system in Pixels, because you can spend your energy
There's energy
and
system
then
in Lumaterra too, which you'll experience.
okay. So I'll check that out. But I think that's crucial. I think that any game where if you stop playing everybody else, um, like I just think that that chase is super unhealthy, and I don't think that the next big game like that is. There needs to be something about that. Maybe that might just be my boomer take or whatever, and kids will always play games, fix 18 hours a day. But I think that, like, yeah,
Well, I mean,
I use
we,
that take heavily in in my investment. And if I see a game in my investment strategies, and if I see a game that that takes no consideration of like how much time, like that time aspect. And yeah,
yeah.
the second thing I wanted to say is that it's normal that if you start out in pixels now, you don't make any money. So like that 7 hours for 0.1 RON, that's normal. You've just started out in this game. You have to
Mhm.
reach some form of end game. You know, it seems perfectly normal when Pixel says, "Oh, we're gonna reward people level 200 and over," which means you play without earning till you hit level 200. And
Yeah.
I'm summarizing it because you can still earn some pixels, but it's normal. One, it's bot prevention, because if you could earn money in your first 7 hours, then that's not good for you because bots are going to take most of that.
Hmm. Hmm.
So all of that I don't think is valid criticism, because you're not playing the first weekend to so that you can start being profitable after 3 hours. Like that's bad for bots, and it's actually a good thing that it's not the case.
Yeah. 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 A lot of good points. A lot of good points. I do want to like
I
tackle.
just want to officiate. Sorry, just want to like officially make the moment. I'm clicking run anyway. If I lose all my tokens, at least I still have my friends, right?
Yeah, you still have us, bro. We're not going anywhere. I mean, fucking
Imagine I
hell.
lose all my tokens and I get kicked off the call.
Yeah, just doo is gone. Facts. That yeah, overlooked from my perspective. What you just mentioned about how, yes, of course, bot prevention is definitely a thing. You want to have like there is that progression because point one run in the beginning of the game is not shit, but like it's about getting you into the game and getting to a certain level where you can obviously experience enough of the game and have done enough of the game meritocracy wise to obviously earn from the ecosystem, which needs to be in place. So yes, overlooked from my perspective on that. I just like, how do I go about this? For me, you said what's the biggest game in Web3, right? And yes, it is Pixels in terms of player base and people playing it. And is that game really like an intrinsic superpower? Do people play it for the passion basis? I don't genuinely think so. There are a large group of people that definitely do, and are like building out their own worlds and their reality in that experience, which is like their intrinsic driver. But a large proportion of what makes it successful is the monetary or the economic factor. And obviously, Lumitera seems in this early phases to be along those lines where it's really about an economical gain. It's the monetary factor. There are intrinsic points there that are like far supersede Pixels for me as a gamer because of the combat and those types of things. But I genuinely believe, and it got to a point when we had forgotten Runiverse and we were talking about it prior to the CBT, where I started to realize that, like, if people want to play this experience disregarding the economical benefits, like, that's actually where we've been trying to get to for years anyway. So I still think that's like a front running priority, right? Like you need attachment detached from monetary attachment, like, and does Lumitera do that for me from a first experience, a first impression basis? It really doesn't. It would be a game that I would have, back in the day when GameStop and all these different game stores were alive. I know they're still alive, but you know what I mean. I would have bought it, put it into my console, played it for like an hour, and said, "God, fuck this!" Gone back with my receipt, returned it, and swapped it for a different game. Um, so I still have that as like a measure in my mind. Like, would I return this game? If I really just spent money on it, and I just feel as if the entry or the entrance into the Lumitera world did not capture me personally. So I'm feeling that a lot of people may feel similar, with that. Um, Again, not to discredit it though, because there are, as the game opens up, there's a lot of things that are positive here. There's a lot of things I do look forward to. I just don't think I'm that type of player, what a lot of hardcore MMO players are, to really go in there min max and and put that type of dedication in. You know, there's a lot of timeshare. Kathleen's been talking about it recently, talking about there's only a certain amount of time in the day to play these Ronin games. And we've been speaking about this anyway over the last few months. We're going to get to a point where you're really going to have to choose your niche. You know, you're gonna have to choose where your intrinsic value lies, where your economic value lies, where your information or your intelligence factor lies, which for me unfortunately is fucking nowhere. But like where you fit in best and what makes the most sense to you as a gamer, both economically and intrinsically. So people are going to be sieving through these different experiences to kind of find that. So at least Lumaterra does open the door for different types of players. And it's always a bonus that we're having new experiences. Saying all of this, we got an announcement from Lumaterra during the show right now, and they will perform maintenance in 10 minutes. It's expected to take 2 hours. They didn't express exactly what they're going to be doing maintenance on, but they've been very scrappy in terms of like quick to act, quick to fix things, quick to, you know, shut down the server and just make sure that things are working properly. And saying all of this, am I going to play Lumaterra again today? Yeah, I am. So there's still hope yet. Stark, you're going to play it for the first time, but you're going to log in and they're going to kick you out. So have fun with that. And
I'm playing right now. I haven't been logged out yet.
well, yeah, you've still got 9 minutes. But listen, hopefully by the end of the show, which will be in an hour's time or maybe a little bit longer, you'll be able to have a take. But I mean, if the maintenance is 2 hours, yeah, you're fucked. But let me know what you think on the first stages of the game. If it kicks you out,
I'm very dizzy.
Oh yes, you can't turn the sensitivity down. Crazy. Anyway, but yeah, let me know what you think. Like, button, if they kick you out, scream it, let us know, and we'll jump back onto that topic. But yeah, I mean, I didn't. I didn't get a direct answer from you, Logic, whether it was FR or Lumi.
If I was to choose at a current state, it would be FR for sure. I think the onboarding experience is just way easier, and you actually felt progression, right? Like it was very clear cut. The maze first level was like, yo, like do these quests. This is how you get through the game. I feel like the tutorial was way better, and I think like any new player experience needs to focus on the tutorial more than anything.
Yeah.
Because I can't get hooked on the game if I have to grind my dick off for the first, 2 hours. And that wasn't the case for FR at all. Like FR, it was just straight up like, yo, we're in, we're playing, we partied up, and like we got through the cockatoo boss, and then like it was just like smooth sailing, right? Like we were all in Discord together, and we played for a long ass time. With Lumaterra, I think it definitely has tons of potential. I mean, I personally enjoy this sort of like really interactive combat style a lot more than Runiverse's combat style. But their problem is the new player experience. It's absolute dog shit. And I fully agree with that. I mean, I actually felt the same way before when I did play test it in the past, and it's something that needs to be addressed for sure. I mean, someone even named Serene on X wrote like a super long review on it, which I'll post on the Ronin Radio chat right now. And I think he hits everything correctly. I feel the exact same way about this, and if they just fix this, I think I would probably get hooked. I don't like the fact that right now, like, you can earn money. I think like through any test, through any feedback, it shouldn't be about the money. It should be about straight up the game
Experience. Yeah. Well, let's do something then. Let's read through this review. Probably not word for word, but like when we get onto certain points, we can address it. Like Stark, you don't have exposure to the experience yet, so it might be a bit weird for you. But yeah, in the chat, give us feedback on the things that we are reading off. But here he is, Serin. Shout out to him for this extensive review. These things are important. So here's my honest feedback on playing Lumaterra, along with my critique on and personal struggles for improving the game. Let's get straight to the point. There's nothing to sugarcoat here. I love it when these type of statements happen. I'm there for it, bro. I love that. Anyway, the biggest turn off for me was the overwhelming complexity right off the bat. Picture this: you're new to a game, excited to explore, and bam, you're hit with a barrage of tasks and quests that feel more like chores, which can feel taxing and overly grindy since you have to do everything manually, which is alluding to what we basically said. Like when you start the game, it's like throw you in the fucking deep end, and you are, that you, if you're just lost. I felt lost at the beginning, and if I wasn't in a Discord chat with other Ronin gamers who had already done this experience, I probably would have made the mistake of the trampling skill. I might have leveled myself up to level 2 without knowing how detrimental that could be without having the right gear and armor and stuff like that. So, and yes, taxing is true because you don't. There's no freedom, and there's no story building. It's just straight away do these tasks, right?
Yeah.
And you don't see progression until you do that, and then even when you do the tasks, you don't even see progression other than you get like your items, which is generic standard, something that should happen. And I get that they're teaching you the game through these tasks as well. There is the teaching factor, but yeah, I can agree with this complexity and a taxing feeling and overly grindy. Imagine needing a lot of time just to finish one quest. Well, to be fair, I understand that this is currently attributed by low monster spawn rates, significant damage versus health gaps between monsters and players, confusing in-game and NPC guides, amount of players in-game doing the same tasks. Everyone had an equal starting point yesterday. It just feels new. It just feels being new and facing such a grind right away. It's a bit of a mood killer. Instead of feeling hooked, I felt drained. There's no initial hook, no sense of early achievement, just a slog. It's just everything we're talking about. So I don't really need to elaborate on that, to be honest. In my honest opinion, the problem really lies on the early game experience of Lumitera that could be huge detriment for user retention. Again, the conversation of I think the intrinsic value actually outweighs the economic in the long run and in the exposure. You're not going to bring new players to this experience if they are just going to go PvP in an economy that they fucking hate to grind, and then someone's re-grinded much longer than them and is just monopolizing it. So think about it. In most RPGs, they hook you in by making the start easy and rewarding. You get to understand the game mechanics slowly, and you're encouraged to keep playing. I've played a ton of RPGs and spent thousands of clock hours on them, and that's always the case. In traditional RPGs, the initial gameplay is usually easier to grasp, helping players understand the mechanics, feel rewarded for their progress, be encouraged to return, and ultimately to create an emotional hook on the players. Bro, Serin, are you in my brain, bro? This is all the shit I was saying, but yes. I mean, sure, there's a white paper that you can use as a reference to guide you for whatever is happening inside the game, but really, I mean, like, does that mean to say really? But reality is, question mark, who will read a wall of text before playing a game? And arguably, gamers, none of them, especially Logic. So a game, the challenge is how can you make the onboarding process and early game experience as frictionless as possible? So here are some of my personal suggestions. I've been pretty self-explanatory, right? Beginner-friendly onboarding, reward early progress, gradual complexity, balance grind, and reward. So far on the technical aspect, I haven't encountered any major bugs or technical issues. That's a plus, but the emotional hook and overall player experience, they need a serious upgrade to keep players coming back. Lumitera has the potential to be something great. The unique blend of 2D and 3D elements, the cross-platform gameplay, and the diverse features are all fantastic. But the initial player experience needs to be more accessible and engaging, making the early game easier and more rewarding. Lumitera, okay, yeah, just a bit of a word salad towards the end. But yeah, like that's the real deal. Holyfield spiel, for real.
Like something that reminds me of this new player experience, and I completely understand this, and I completely agree with his feedback. Is Aperon, right? Like I love Aperon. You all know I love Aperon, but they also are lacking on a new player experience, right? It's too hard to get into. And I remember when I did, first start Aperon, it actually took me like a week straight of like 5-6 hour grinding just to even like get a sense of the game. And I understand like most players are not gonna have that,
Mm.
sort of time, and they're not gonna have that sort of dedication to super get into a game.
Yeah.
And any new games out there who are coming to market with their go to market strategies, it's all about the tutorial. It's all about the new player experience. Like if you're releasing, soon, or you're releasing this week, it needs to be fully fleshed out in terms of new player experience, because you have eyes on it now, but if you don't capitalize, right, you're not gonna retain those players. And as soon as that community sentiment is out there, it tends to stick, and it's super hard to even get players back in and trying it out again. um
Yeah.
so yeah, I completely agree with Serene, bro. It's way too fucking hard. I think it has tons of potential though. Like, I personally love the combat and the movements and the dodging and all
Like
that
even
sort of shit, but
even something
it's just
simple,
too
bro.
hard.
Like
Yeah.
storyline based. How does your player even get to existence? Like, have a starting experience where you have like a full high level, character. Maybe you get like your memory wiped, or like the Breath of the Wild type of thing. So you start the game with a lot of equipment. You do some tasks that are high level, but you get that dopamine from completing those tasks and fighting certain enemies and having all these skills, and you can choose the skills that you want, and you get to fully experience that from the jump, and then it begins the game and you're back to level 0 and you start that way. But you already know how to farm, you already know how to fight, and then the first quests are about acquiring the equipment, and then obviously going and farming your own resources. So that's it's a way that they could look at it. But yeah, I think we're just gonna go round in circles on it. But ultimately, from an initial experience, Intrinsic was a no, but something still makes me want to play today. Something still makes me think, well, maybe it will get better. Or maybe if I just put more time into this, it will feel better for me. Um, so they do have that aspect, but yeah. Any more thoughts? Stark, you got kicked off yet?
Not like this, Stark.
No, well, I no, I dis well, I discovered I think it's because I alt tabbed, but I went into first person, so I couldn't see my character anymore, and click to speak nothing. So I literally broke the game after 1 minute. So I
You
had
are
to
a
go
game
back to
breaker.
normal.
You broke Forgotten Universe as well, didn't you? Tell us about that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I couldn't see my HP or the enemy's HP in any battle, and then I tried on 3 different devices, including my phone. So it was like the bug was attached to my account, not to my device. So that was not good. So I got to level 5 and I had to stop playing because I didn't know I had to like guess when I encountered a new creature. I didn't know how far down my HP was going, so I
Yeah.
had to like guess if I had to heal or if I could survive. Or so it's very frustrating.
You're just hoping. They were making you do some mental maths, bro. Training, sharpening you up. But yeah, game breaker for sure. I think another point that I do want to put out there before we kind of close the lid on the conversation for now. Um, the first MMO RPG that I've experienced where teaming up is completely useless, like pointless. There's actually no driver for social interaction in the Lumitera experience, whereas in Forgotten Universe, it was like, who can I play with? Who's online? Let's team up. Let's go fight mobs together, and there was this unity. Whereas in Lumitera, it feels like a complete solo experience ultimately. And even when you do team up and you go and fight mobs together, it's still that last hit rule that applies. There's no share of resources. There's no share of experience, and yeah. So
Yeah.
um, that feels a little bit bad. Feels not even a little bit bad. It just feels
It was hella bad, dude. And
counterintuitive.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's like what Akil says. Akil said in chat, it reminds me of farming boars in classic WoW. And yeah, it's I think it's too old school. Like, the old school grinding is a lot. It's really a lot. And I'm hoping they figure it out, dude.
hmm Anyway, good morning, Mr. Finn is in the building. How are you doing, bro?
Good morning.
Enough silly little
Uh,
crypto games to ignore the massacre and blood that's everywhere.
yeah, what a fun week. Mm, we love it here. Um, yeah, no. I just wanted to jump in. You know, obviously myself and the rest of the team have been a little bit preoccupied for a little bit, just sort of, making
Yes.
sure things are good and focusing our attention on that. But I wanted to jump over and say hi and check in with everyone and
Yeah.
update people. And
We're about to open
um,
that conversation, so I think it's a good
great, let's do it. No,
yeah.
I want to have the conversation. I think I want to make sure people are as aware of things and are, I don't want anyone to feel like they're left out of anything or unaware or that something's being hidden. Um, so from what we know, this was it was an isolated incident. This is not a widespread user funds or unsafe incident. This was, from what we can tell, a white hat hacker. And
Mhm.
what that usually means is these are people who tend to go around and look for exploits
Mhm.
that they can then collect a bounty on for identifying.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem been able to have some communication with them, so it doesn't seem like this is anything completely negligent or not negligent, but this isn't anything where people should be worrying about funds.
Yeah.
The Ronin bridge is safe. It's secure. Again, we released a V2 update to the bridge. There was a lot of security upgrades. Those security upgrades worked. I think that's really important to understand.
Uh-huh.
The daily withdrawal limit is something that prevented this from being a more significant situation than it was. So I think within any documentation you see or any kind of communication you see, where we point out that this was the limit, meaning this could not have been a larger transaction.
Yeah.
And as soon as the transaction was notified, we had people that this happened, I think, about somewhere between 6 and 7 o'clock this morning. I was not awake when it happened. I should say that for my time. So this happened a couple of hours ago. And again, within the first 30 minutes, the team had already started, securing the bridge and making sure that nothing else was at risk. So, it's is it a positive morning? No,
Mhm.
it's not something we ever want to have happen. But I'm also like, I think it's really amazing to see how fast our security team moved, and how fast our team in general moved, to make sure nothing worse could have happened. But again, given that this appears to have been white hat hackers, it's important to understand that, like, this was more for show, to demonstrate an exploit than it was to actually steal funds in any way.
Yeah.
And as we put in the post as well, like, if at any point or in any way in any situation, um, any funds are not fully recovered, they will be covered. This is not something that we take lightly, and we would never leave any users high and dry when it comes to things like this.
Yeah, facts. It's good to know how quickly action was taken upon, and obviously the restrictions in place that when you reach this maximum amount in terms of transaction basis, it's like an alarm bell does go off anyway. So whether it is genuine or not, at least there's those limitations. 12
Can
million is
I can I
still a lot in terms of value, but yeah, I mean,
can
start go.
Totally.
well, sorry, can I ask a question, especially when
Yeah,
it
yeah,
comes to like the because it's 12 million is the maximum in a single transaction, but
yeah.
there's like dozens of transactions happening. There's like a transaction takes 5 seconds, and if it takes half an hour to get the bridge on the lockdown, that's I'm just asking a question around the narrative of that it was the maximum that could have been taken when it doesn't. When a transaction like that happened, does the bridge automatically freeze?
So
And if not, that's
there's security procedures in place that, like, identify when transactions like that happen. We
but like
monitor.
but then there's an alarm bell. But if $12 million
Yeah, but we monitor even below that. We monitor transactions far below that
but
at
let's
all
say
times.
but is it like a it's not a human, is it like does the bridge get frozen? Because if $12 million can happen in 7 seconds and it takes 5 minutes, that money disappears very quickly, so what exactly? Because here white hat hackers did it once and then probably did one transaction. They're probably the ones who stopped, and then they reached out and then they said, this is what we were able to do, blah blah blah. But if let's say it's a bad actor, I'm not. I need to understand more about like this maximum within one transaction, because that's if we're building, we're like scaling so that we can do thousands of transactions. So like this one limit transaction, I'm not understanding. Do you understand my question?
Yeah, does it like trigger, like is it protocol that gets triggered, or is it the fact that it just raises the awareness of the transaction and then it comes down to
But you need
human
but you
decision
need a
to
human.
So
do
there's
anything?
there's two aspects to that, right? And I'm not as technical or involved in the security procedures, so I can't speak like directly to them. But there's two angles to it, right? So single transaction limits are one part of the security protocol, right? So that prevents uh, the entire bridge being wiped in a single transaction, right? That's it. Just from base level, that prevents a single transaction from being an issue. On the second level is how we monitor. There's manual and automated ways we monitor almost every transaction that happens on the bridge. I have a tool that monitors. Our security team uses tools that monitor. We have specific ways that we monitor inflow and outflow to always be aware and flag for any kind of like irregular behavior, right? And that's just base level. Do we act on most of that? Absolutely not, right? If someone's just making transactions at a large size and nothing seems off, it's just it's good for us because we simply just are being aware of what's happening and like activity. um in terms of like what happened here, obviously the plan going forward includes ways to increase security, right? To move away from Ronin specifically being the single source of management for the bridge, because that happens to be, you know, not necessarily the most. It'll always be something that can be, um, targeted when you have sort of these like single source products, right? Products that are too centralized open themselves up to kind of these issues. So the goal is always being to like move towards decentralization in a way that that eliminates any kind of threats. And so that's something that's been in kind of the forefront of conversations this morning. Um, was how do we kind of fast track the process? Um, so
Yeah,
yeah,
people
I
have
mean,
been saying that Owl dropped like a more of an explanation as
yeah,
to
if
what
you're curious
happened.
about the technical parts, it's right there.
I'm gonna read it and have fun, not
Yeah.
understanding some of it. But here we go. Welcome to school, lads and ladies. Sit down. Hope you got pens and paper. You should have brought your textbooks. Make sure. Anyway, let's go. After deployment of update, the proposal forgot to call a function initialize v3 to set the operator weights, total operator weights it is used in withdrawal process. Exploiter only needed to provide valid signature. They withdrew the daily limit in ETH, which is 4,000, and USDC, which is 2 million. This apparently visualizes that, but to a normal brain, maybe not. Is
A
there any
normal
point?
brain.
It's like, yeah. Um, for you guys who are technical out there, here's some images to look at. I really want to be able to understand this stuff, but obviously reading code is not the easiest stuff. But look, so any valid sig will pass this line. Signer. Cool, yeah. Return 0 since not actual operator. Should revert if signer is not a current or past validator. Less than or equal to 0, 0 is true. Should also check that weight cannot be 0. Weight, minimum weight, past equals true. Break, yeah, fucking get into the weeds of that one. But
The short of it is essentially they were able to pretend to be a validator and approve transactions. That's the short of it.
okay.
How is so? It seems like code error then on an update.
Correct.
Who is auditing updates before it goes live? That like a blunder like this can happen this easily, so to speak, because like at least the previous hack, when it's like human error, at least it's clear what we can do to allow that to not happen again, because there was four keys in the possession
Yeah.
of one
Again,
person.
we'll have a full breakdown
Yeah,
of like exactly what
yeah,
happened and exactly where the process was. I don't
yeah,
have that answer for you right now because it's
yeah.
still being worked on with the security
Well, I
team to
think
figure out
obvious, yeah,
what step of the
exactly what
process it
happened.
was.
Yeah, no problem.
Um,
I
yeah.
think here the thing, my question earlier was more like understanding more about this, because even here the way Al says it, he says daily limit, like it's a daily limit of the whole bridge. That would make more sense. as a security feature, but then $12 million limit on a bridge that has $800 million is not, like you don't want to be blocking people from withdrawing. So I don't understand. Because if
Correct.
it's
There's no intention to block people from withdrawing if their
so
transactions
so
are totally
so
normal.
I'm just like the thing that's repeated constantly is like this $12 million limit. I just don't understand it, because if it's per transaction, and a transaction now is super fast on Ronin, so it's like 3 to 7 seconds, that can happen a lot before a human has to hit the emergency.
But I think
stop button.
I think
guess
the
I'm
reality of it
I'm
is it prevents the transaction,
I'm
right?
not quite sure what you're pushing at.
Yeah, I think no, but the thing is that the 12
You're not
million.
sure, or you're, because
The,
I want to understand the intention behind your question, I think.
no, just that
Is because if your is your intent, because I'm trying to explain, at least for the most
Yeah.
part, is
Yeah.
the process that caught this, the process that's going to change going forward, and how we're looking at things. It is a fact that $12 million limit prevented this from being a significantly larger issue. That's just a fact. If that didn't
okay.
exist, this would have been a significantly larger issue, or
I
could
was
have been.
I was
Yeah.
assuming that and again, it's assuming until we know more. I assumed that because they're white hat hackers, they did one transaction and then they waited to see your reaction or communicate.
We got messages almost immediately after the transaction happened. As it was within, I believe it was in about 4 or 5 minutes that the first message was sent to Alexander about this. So until it was identified exactly what had happened, or if it was in fact an exploit, that had to be addressed first before the bridge could be paused. If that makes sense.
So my question is not like ill-intended or whatever. It's just to say
Yeah.
that 5 minutes is 300 seconds. That's 43
English maths.
transactions
Sorry.
No, but it's like 43 transactions if a transaction 7 seconds times 12 million. That's $500 million. So my question
Totally.
is,
I definitely don't want to get caught into like what could have happened if XYZ. It didn't, and that's the most important part.
but my question is more like, what does this limit? It's searching to understand it more. So even if you can, if part of the post-mortem,
what part about it are you trying to understand? Like why it exists?
How exactly it works? Because if the way it's explained now, it's either I don't understand it or it's pretty useless.
It
So I'm
shuts
leaning
down.
towards I don't understand it.
It shuts down the transaction at that amount, right? When you hit the maximum value, like the transaction does not go through, is what I'm understanding. Because if it didn't
Correct.
limit the transaction, then the exploit could have, to your math and the equation, gone to 500 million within the time that it took.
You'd use multiple addresses and different. Like if you just do it at 11 million over different wallets.
No,
So
but Finn explained that they're auditing much lower than that value, but that is the max. So like you couldn't actually request more, but it gets audited up to that value, and like anything severe. I mean, I don't know, right? I'm not going to make a statement, but like anything close to what we start to consider as a substantial amount of money to the US dollar value, I would assume that gets audited. And yes, it would be very difficult if a lot of them happened simultaneously in a short period of time.
All chains do this, and I mean, I think it's important to understand. Like, we're looking at like transactions all the way down to like sometimes in the $50,000 to $100,000 range, and even sometimes lower than that. Like, it's always important for us to have an understanding of like, user behavior on chain, and what normal user behavior looks like, and when we can kind of identify that behavior is irregular or is not correct, and this is an instance of behavior that was immediately able to be identified as not correct. Obviously, at the max, this was an intentional move by the white hat hacker. So, it's very different. This is, again, just to reiterate, not something that anyone has to like worry about or be concerned over. It's something that's being addressed as we speak. It's being handled. We're looking at, again, those solutions that kind of move it away from being a centralized source. I mean, something like Layer 0 is like a good example of tech that can kind of be implemented in a way that would like help, move the bridge from being centralized with us to being more decentralized and safe and secure in that sense. So again, we'll have a whole kind of security team audit that will come out that'll kind of share and explain exactly what happened, how it happened, and all that stuff. But for now, I think the important thing is just kind of making sure that people know that there's nothing that personally they need to worry about. Their funds are safe, 100%. Always have been, always will be. And yeah, it's another another exciting morning in crypto.
Yeah, facts. Just to cover up any missing pieces that you might have not picked up on if you're in the audience, we reference this term white hat actor throughout the explanation of this. In the developers world, there are white hats and black hats, and they essentially have roles, or they assign roles, where they will deliberately test and attempt to almost break things. Black hats, obviously, with a malicious intent, and the white hats with intentions of good faith. There is actually a saying on when I was reading a bit more into these two terminologies, and that there are black hats and white hats in the developer world, but in all cases there are some shades of grey. Ultimately, if you're a white hat, like, a lot of the time you'll be bounty collecting, so you'll discover problems, or you'll create and exploit problems to come back to the developers or the owners, to say there's a problem right here, but you guys can fix it like this, and then a bounty gets collected, and it's more rewarding and legitimate to be a white hat than it is to be a black hat. But like we're saying, this opens up by saying it was notified by white hats, so the intention wasn't initially malicious. This is around an update, so these types of things are, in my opinion, would be expected. Like, if you're putting something new out there, you'd kind of want people to break it or try to break it, to give you a proof factor on what it is that you just put out there. Is it good in any way? So the honesty reflection of it this quickly, and the solving of it this quickly, in my opinion, is positive. It's just always, when you
Well,
hear the
the only
terminology,
reason
it's concerning. Yeah.
the only reason it's positive is because it was white hackers. We wouldn't be out here talking about how quickly. I don't know. I'm trying to just ask. I know you said, like we said, we don't want to talk about like how bad it could have been, but that's important too, because that's what helps understand how severe the breach is. Because if it's white hat hackers and this is the worst damage they tried to do, or this is what I was trying to get to, is like, or did they stop after 12 minutes? Like, did they stop and then wait to see, or could it have potentially been way
Yeah.
worse? So,
I see what you're saying as well, though, Stark. Like, the approach of like, okay, it didn't work because of this, but they were white hats, so there was no malicious intent. Like, if someone was really trying to be malicious, is there a better way that they could have attempted to do something similar to what happened today? And are we even prepared for that, because we are looking at it
and
from white hats?
yeah, and I think that's important to address, because it's still like it's part of what the thing could have been, and how, like, yeah. I understand there's a lot of things we'll only know till the post-mortem, but the reason I was asking Finn about it was more not to necessarily get answers now, but so that it's like, in case it's missed, that it's included in the post-mortem, like the whole, even just further explaining how that one limit 12 million thing works, because I still don't quite exactly understand, and I think my concerns are valid. So and just to have it more technically explained exactly how I think I got disconnected.
No,
No,
you're
no,
still
you're
here,
still here.
Um, the image left, and it said disconnected. So to get a share screen. So just to explain exactly how that works, because yeah, what I was trying to say earlier is that how I understood was that the white hat hackers did something and then stopped and then communicated it. So it, or is it did was the bridge where they stopped after that 12 million thing, because it's per what I was trying to explain, but obviously not very clearly. What I was trying to ask is, because if it's 12 million per wallet or per transaction or per address, you could effectively do that one after the other on different addresses before a human freezes it. Like, it's just to understand the scale of what could have happened. And
It's protocol. It gets frozen without the human.
so the bridge did get frozen. It wasn't clear.
What?
Yeah, the bridge
We
was put
froze.
on pause.
Yeah.
No, but it was automatically put. That's what I was asking. Is it a human, or is it automatically put on pause?
In this case, this was a manual pause of the bridge.
So it's not protocol then. I don't know. I feel like I must be very poorly explaining myself, because I feel almost.
No, you're not.
Not
You're not. You're
attacked,
not.
but
You're asking.
like
You're asking if the limit.
I think I'm asking.
Factor
valid
is
questions,
protocol,
and it's
or,
like,
or
yeah.
You're
does
asking
it
if
come
it's
down to
automated
human
or not.
element? Yeah, is it automated? Is this something that is set in stone, procedure, protocol, that when these things occur, there is the non-human element that prevents, so there isn't a room for human error ultimately, because like we've had in the past, it might be a bit of PTSD, but it was human error
Yes,
on the initial Ronin bridge hack that happened 3 years ago.
Correct. The original was very much so an incident that was attached to people being exploited. They're socially exploited, and then validators being compromised. This was not that. Again, a very isolated incident, something that we were able to kind of identify pretty quick. And again, it's like I think it's definitely fair to ask the questions. Again, I don't know the answers right now, just because security team has to do their full audit to understand exactly what happened and have the conversation about it. But I think the more important thing that I'm going to push, just because it needs to be made aware, is just making sure that people don't think that this is somehow continuously keeping funds at risk. It's not. It's being dealt with. It's been dealt with. It's not something that people need to have some panic moment over. I mean, it's definitely scary, but it's also important to understand that our security team acted very quickly on this. They identified, they were made aware of this. Obviously we get a lot of messages. People can sometimes call out false flags, and you don't ever want to act on a false flag in a way that could end up being more detrimental and kind of cause unnecessary issues. But I'm super proud of the team for how quick they acted, and if this had been an actual incident, they would have acted very quick, and so it's again, everything will be covered in the actual kind of like full breakdown that comes out.
Yeah, I don't even want to put, because at the end of the day, bro, Finn, fucking hell, man, this is like some very complex shit, and it's it's not your area of expertise.
It's very
and
complex.
Yeah, and like I understand the the responsibilities that you have in your role at the company at Sky Mavis, so I don't even want to put you in a position where, bro, because this is fucking.
Clearly, your main job is to go around, and this show included, to make sure that people understand their money's safe.
Yeah, that's right now. That's yes. Primary focus right now is just making sure people understand money's totally safe.
Yeah.
There's $800 and something million that we have completely protected and secure. There's no concern over those funds at all. And
obviously there's a can of worms afterwards, and you can try to answer the questions that no, but it's true. There's like
of course,
literally limitless amounts of questions.
Now is not the time, but as concerned community members, we are openly
No,
communicating. Yes,
the biggest thing, I don't want to push back on people like, oh no, you can't have conversations. I want everyone to have the conversations. I want people to talk about it. I want people to understand. I just want to make sure everyone knows at the start of every discussion, it's funds are safe, and then we can kind of talk about what happened and all that. And the security team will do a really good job of breaking down exactly what happened. We're very transparent about things. There's no reason, we're not trying to, we don't aim to hide anything. And, most of what we want to do is basically build towards a system that is decentralized enough and is validated properly in a way that means that there is no possibility of these things. And that's what everyone's working towards in crypto, right? Is finding ways to keep things completely decentralized and safe and secure. That's always kind of the core focus. And we've been looking, again, as I mentioned, like Layer 0 is one of those systems that can kind of help with these things. And it's something that's like definitely been in conversation this morning.
Well, I just sneezed it out, but Bill is here, so I wanna give you the stage, bro.
What up, Bill?
So, I think what Stark was kind of getting at is there a like upper limit to how much money can be withdrawn over the course of, like, let's say 5 minutes?
Yeah. So I think the one thing that I want to
Can I just say, Finn, I'm so sorry, but carry on. Yeah.
No. It's okay. It's fine. It's okay. I have the utmost confidence in our team, and I have the utmost confidence in our community that these questions are not coming from ill intent. They're just genuine curiosity. I don't want to give too much information on security measures, because that's also a difficult thing to do, right?
You don't want to be socially engineered. Yep.
Correct. There's two angles to it, right? There's the angle where I'm comfortable talking about the security measure that caught this, but there are levels where discussing other security measures we have in place that help us identify these things can also be dangerous to talk about publicly, in the sense that they can then be used as opportunities to find ways to exploit around those. So on a broad scale, we have a lot of security measures in place that look at everything that happens on the Ronin chain, that looks at every single transaction that's happening, and is looking to identify when we find irregular transactions. Going too much into the details of those is where it gets a little bit complicated, because you don't want to basically say, hey, here's how we're looking at it, and then someone goes, oh, you're only looking at it this way, right? Or, oh, if you're looking at it this way, I can go this way, right? So we don't really want to get into those details, because that's where it gets a little bit messy. But we definitely have a ton of security measures that are in place, kind of after what happened in 2022. So yeah, we're and for everyone wondering about like timeline too, I think I saw people talking, like asking when the bridge would reopen. There's kind of going to be a variety of things that have to happen first before that can happen. Obviously, like main one is security audits. We're gonna have to go through a pretty serious number of security audits. Whenever we do deploy any updates to Ronin, there are security audits that happen. Security audits, we've seen this in a number of instances. Security audits can capture 99% of issues. First asking what my password is. And there's always going to be, there's always, unfortunately, the potential for things like this. And that's the instance where you hope to rely on kind of security teams and protocols and process in place that can kind of help catch those 1%. So we're working on that and working on kind of how this is going to happen. A big part of the Ronin bridge was, and increasing security was, having validators with voting power, which also helps decentralize out and spread kind of, how many eyes are on a change and how many eyes can kind of look over change.
It was in our suggestion as well. It was like they only had to pass a certain signature, which should be gated by either being a validator currently or a past validator on the network. So yeah, those things allude to it. Yeah.
Well, I will say, as a validator who looked over this, the exploit was not done through any validator or bridge shenanigans.
Correct.
Yeah, well, at least we made the
arbitrary things. I looked at my node this morning. I was like, "Holy fuck! If it was me, I am cooked."
No, it was not a validator issue.
Yeah.
The validators did their job as they should. I think the note there was more around increasing validators, kind of like allowing validators to have more of like voting power within kind of these situations, because when updates happen, it's always kind of I think it's important for us to kind of as we said, spread out that the voting power, so it's not a singular source making decisions, because that's where you get into those centralized issues, which is kind of the goal to get away from.
Yeah. Well, we made the beta of the explore page, not for the best reasons, but we did. I just wanted to say, I don't know why the fuck everyone turns into thinks they're fucking, Channel 4 News, the presenter, and they're like, breaking Ronin, there's like 20 fucking thousand posts of breaking news. No one's comment, just allow it, stop it. It is what it is.
The thing that I saw, and this is as Finn the human, not Finn the employee. But a lot of a lot of the discussion didn't come from people who necessarily were directly involved with Ronin, or participants in what we're doing on Ronin. Attention economy is a big part of social media, right? People like to capitalize on moments of engagement. Elon, when taking over X, made it so that the highest engagement wins, not the truth. That's kind of been a difficult part of the modern age of social media, is when you pay people for just getting impressions on tweets. You tend to have rapid fire journalists who may not have all the information.
Breaking news, yeah.
Breaking news.
It unfortunately doesn't override the fact that people are not cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You might get engagement, but you might suck cock through a straw. Anyway, let's
I like that way of putting it.
we'll
That's
continue.
actually how they exploited the bridge.
Yeah, through a straw.
Through a straw. Yeah.
Okay, light-hearted. You know, I saw. You know, you put it in the chat, Bruce. To be honest, I saw this news. Like, actually, you know what is weird? Even the original hack that happened a couple years ago, I saw it and I kind of was just like unfazed. I'm like, oh well, you know, I can't really do anything to make it better or worse or whatever. So like, why the fuck do I? Why worry? You know, official news is going to come out. It's going to come from the sources that it needs to come from. You know, there's patience around it. The good end of this is the fact that it is not a calamitous situation. We're not reading a post that says we are sorry. It's like, you know, there's nothing we can do about it type of thing. So there's positives in that.
Yo,
And
I will say though, Gila, the first one, I was not. I I was
you felt a
was
bit
very
twitchy bumhole.
reactionary to the first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shitting yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't think I understood what the fuck was happening. So I was just like, oh yeah,
Well, it's you know, it's. I think there's like there's an aspect of being in crypto where, very unfortunately, there are like, you know, incidents like this that can kind of get what's a good word for it? Not that they kind of like become the norm, but it's like, you know, things get exploited a lot. Financial markets get exploited, and it's like, you know, sometimes we get desensitized to these things, which is you know, not necessarily
it's a human thing anyway. Like, look how desensitized we
Yeah.
were to like. I don't want to get political. Actually, fuck, I'm not gonna mention it. Let's go.
Nope, nope, not
No.
in the Moku.
New
Not
topic,
not
new
here.
topic,
New
new
topic. Hey.
Take
Well,
that
you know,
shit to a
we have
different
we
one.
have enough silly crypto games to not worry about any of this shit. Fuck it. Just ball. Just go
We're gonna
out
have
there.
one more. We're
We
starting
are.
voting today.
We are, yes. Actually, Sean gave us a heads up on this. It will be in the announcements pretty soon. So those guys that are involved or are waiting patiently for more news on that, you will be fulfilled today. There will be some more news on the interesting event that is happening right now, where we're building a game with the Moki community. So I'm looking forward to see where we're at and what comes out of that. So keep your eyes peeled for that later on today. But yeah, I mean, let's close the book. Chapter
Well,
done.
speaking of the games, what are you? I guess this is a question for Bruce. What are you most excited about? Anything that come into your mind when you're looking through the suggestions and all the games that the community has been thinking about? Like, what are you eyeing? Are you
Well,
looking at anything?
so we brought in the most active community members to help us curate, right? So this list was built up with I think 4 or 5 community members. I won't name names so you guys don't get blamed if nobody likes the choices.
Yeah, fuck you guys.
And yeah, as well as our team as well. And we got it down to 5 choices, and these 5 choices sort of represent the size of game that we want to build in. And some of them we slightly altered your suggestion to make it fit. We were like, this is like 85% of the way, 90% of the way there of being like doable for a short list. So we noted where we did that, but we got it down to 5. So I don't want to sway people, but there are 2 in there that I would really have a lot of fun making. And there is one where I will fucking not have fun making. But
It better be Bomberman.
I will say Bomberman did not make the final cut.
Oh fucking
Gila.
yeah! End the,
No
end
way.
Of this because Gil left.
this.
I'll tell you guys why. Multiplayer matchmaking is very hard to do in Web3 right now. I think Axie is probably the only game that you can load up and queue in and get a match like quickly. And I think that goes inside of Ronin, outside of Ronin. Like multiplayer games need a significant amount of player liquidity for matchmaking. And we're doing that with Moki Pochi. We have, other things on the roadmap that are going to need a lot of people involved. And I can't give you guys another multiplayer experience that's going to
Mhm.
cannibalize multiplayer. So it needs to either be async multiplayer where you could play with your friends sort of in an untimed way,
Mhm.
or like a single player leaderboard run type of deal.
Yeah.
Sandbox games are working pretty well, like Pixels, Lumitera, Runiverse, like where you hop in and hop out and you're in like a world with other people, but you're kind of doing your own thing. Those work. But straight up matchmaking, dude, I dead drop
Yeah.
some of the
They're all
shrapnel
loading screens.
early. Yeah. So I didn't want to give you guys another one. Like we're gonna build Bomberman. It's gonna be hot for like 3 days, and then people are gonna have a hard time getting matches, and then they're gonna forget about it.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
maybe later. So go
Yeah.
fucking Bomberman.
Give us more
So
player
is it
liquidity.
so is it safe to assume like the majority is single player experiences and like storyline sort of things?
No, there are gonna be roguelikes, replayables. I'll just give you the fucking options.
Yeah,
The
do that for
uh,
sure.
I'm gonna paste them in here. I don't know if the formatting is gonna hold up. So uh okay, going in.
Huh?
All right.
Oh
Oh
shit.
shit. Okay.
Okay, wait,
Yeah.
let's get read through.
So we kind of
Option
gotta go
1.
through these, bro. We gotta go
Moki
through these.
Endless Runner. The core loop is run, dodge, collect, and upgrade. USP, which is what? A fucking delivery company?
Unique. No, that's UPS.
Okay,
Unique selling
close.
point.
Okay.
Like, what's the unique selling point? Why do you want to play it?
Fast-paced action featuring beloved Moki characters, casual Dookie Dash style example, Subway Surfers and Dookie Dash. Yes, Temple Run should have been in there, but whatever. Option
Yeah,
2.
they had Temple Run, and they were like, everybody knows Subway Surfers more now, so they told me to
Fucking
take it out.
Zoomers.
Yeah.
Anyway, option 2, Panchico style game. Core loop, launch, bounce, score, unlock things to improve your runs. Unique selling point, addictive blend of luck and strategy. Roguelike additions make it replayable. Examples, Panchico, Peglin type beat. Yeah, I like the fact that someone said type beat. I fuck with that. Anyway, option 3, Moki or Rats Racing. Edited the racing submission to fit a better current scope. The core loop, race, earn, and upgrade, repeat. A unique selling point is the deep customization and progression system. We can probably bet on the races and make rats a thing. Oh my god, rat racing. That makes a lot of sense. Examples, Goblin Auto Club Manager, but prettier. Option 4 is the Moki Casino. Core loop, get tokens, user tokens, play games of chance, win or lose and repeat. Unique selling point, it's Moki and Gamba Extreme Dopamine. Examples are Fortuna. And then the option 5 is tower defense, core loop, defend your wall against hordes, upgrade your abilities, repeat. Unique selling point is continuously playable, roguelike, dopamine hits with a ton of enemies and projectiles. Example, Doodle Magic and Bacon's Revenge. Shout out to Cami. Bruce is, Sleek Master 69. Thank you,
Yeah.
Xanatos, for repeating the Moki Casino. You know what? A good selection, of course, avoiding that the PvP element style. I'm excited by a few of them. I actually need to do some research here because I don't know what Panchico
You don't know.
is.
First of
And
all,
Chico's like
Pachinko.
the Japanese like metal ball game.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Pachinko. Yeah,
Yeah.
Pachinko is like a legalized gambling
Gambling.
essentially in Japan.
Yeah.
Dude, if you ever go to a pachinko parlor, it's just like noise
Degeneracy.
and cigarettes.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
dude. Yeah, last year when I went to Japan with Nelly, we went through a couple of them and actually went inside one, and it's crazy. It's literally a casino, but with
Yeah.
games and metal balls and
But
clinking and
look up Peglin because Peglin is a roguelike take on pachinko. So it's there we go. Okay. Say
Okay.
a lot of quick cuts here. So it's like pachinko, but you have like a roguelike battling happening in the top, and like the damage that you do to your enemies is based on you bouncing the
Bouncing the
ball.
ball. Oh, bro. This goes a little bit higher on the list for me at the moment.
Right. So I don't. You pick like the one thing that has like zero gameplay. It's like all quick cuts to fucking anime.
I fucking like. Yeah, this is a video I'll probably watch. But okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's actually get some just straight up gameplay. Here we go, lads and ladies. Buckle in. Hold on to your hats. If my internet works. I'm understanding. Oh, okay. Oh, so it is roguelike. Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. So you drop the ball, you hit the stuff, that stuff turns into damage, and then you do damage to people.
This guy's special. What the fuck is that? Obviously, shoot it more sideways. It's gonna have more bounceability.
Yeah, this is not looking good. He's not dealing enough damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There,
Oh,
that's
he's
a
got
kill.
it. He's
There we
got
That's a
it.
go.
kill.
There we
Yeah.
go. There we go.
There it
It's a
is.
crit.
Oh wait,
It's a
what? Oh,
crit.
he's fucked. No, don't shoot it down, you pleb.
This guy sucks.
Yeah, this guy sucks ass. Through
Oh.
a straw. Oh,
Oh.
hello. Is it enough? The bomb missed. Oh no, the bomb didn't miss. Okay. Yeah. I could see.
This looks fun.
I like the idea of it. Let's look at some of the other examples, right? Goblin.
So Goblin Auto Club Manager looks like shit. It was made by one dude. But the idea is fucking hilarious, which is like what if we made there's this whole rats underworld in the Moku universe, and can we turn them into street racers
Mm-hmm.
where they're upgrading their cars? Maybe there's some cross community things here around the cars, and you're putting idiot rats in cars, and they essentially auto battle.
Why was that
Like
the shortest
you
trailer ever
basically
seen?
you basically don't control, like you don't actually race. It's one of the things that we wanted to avoid by having like multiplayer queues. So it's having a lot of people recommended having some sort of kart racer. I just wanted to get it in there without creating multiplayer queues for it. So you upgrade your car, you race in races against other players, and you have different. In this case, it would be rats with
Yeah.
different AI, like aggressiveness, their ability to off road versus turn on smooth tracks, etc.
Would our
And you'd
rat
be like,
collection actually be rats in that game? If that was the route we went, or would
yo, if you guys want an airdrop of rats, uh, if we want to make rats, I'll make rats.
I mean, it's just an interesting angle that we could go down where it's like
Yeah.
because it's AI and obviously there's unique elements to it, and like people who have had activity on Moku for the last few months and of course increase their activity because of the announcement of it,
Yeah.
have an ability to get these rats airdrops, which gives you a wider scope on better, essentially rat racers.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome to the rat race.
There's a question: would the Moki Casino be banned in countries? Absolutely. If we use
Yeah.
tokens, the United States is not getting it.
Oh wow.
And probably
Okay,
a couple of other
let's probably not do
countries.
that. let's
Yeah.
let's not do that.
What I like about the first one is that you can have I guess an easier leaderboard system.
Yeah.
Right.
The others, it's harder to place on leaderboard. So here you could. The tower defense too, I guess. It depends how, because you could have, depending on how people level up and go, and people love.
I
This
need to
way
find out what this game
you,
looks like.
this way you have people competing against each other without needing to have like concurrent players for queuing and stuff like that. So
Right. Look up Doodle. Doodle Magic is probably better.
Okay. I just like the name.
But yeah, I know. Yeah, Bacon's Revenge is it's like a vertical tower defense. So it's like you're defending a wall with a single character, and that character is constantly upgrading its abilities, the strength of the wall, etc. It's not like tower defense where you're placing a map. This is straight vertical,
Ah,
like
yeah.
stuff is coming at you. So the early levels are really simple. When you get deeper in the run, it's like literally chaos. And your Moki is going to be using different accessories, different items to defend the wall.
But this is the thing here, because like if we're plugging in the Mokis that we own, and that's my Moki standing there doing that, I'm gonna be so passion attached. I don't know about anyone else in here, but I'm gonna be so fucking ready. Especially if there's like progression to it. There's like, the you can build out more of a lore factor behind your Mokis based upon their game performance and stuff like that. Like, there's just so many avenues that opens up. I can really see this and the Panchico Peglin. They're my two favorites. Like, I understand the fun element of like a Subway Surfer style game, but mm,
A lot of people
mm,
recommended to do an endless runner, so we put it on.
yeah,
Uh,
I just feel like Endless Runner is
Where
like complete timeshare. Like, you have to be entirely, completely, wholly invested in the moments that you are playing. Whereas some of these
yep.
other games like the Panchico, and then this tower defense is slightly more passive, which I think, especially when we take into account how many games are on Ronin timeshare of that as well. Like, there's exhaustion factors. Like, people might not want to play a game because it's just like, fuck, like, this is too much for today. I've already played 5 different game experiences, and now I've got to, lock in and drink 5 cans of Celsius to play this.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that, again, all the games that we're going to make are definitely on the more casual side. I don't think we'd ever do anything above a mid core. Like,
mhm,
again, like topping out at a wild forest is, you know, the level of complexity that we're going to look for. Like,
yeah,
we're not, Moku's never, I won't say never, but it's unlikely Moku's making Lumiterra
yeah.
anytime soon. Um, so we want you to have experiences that are like more consumable and also lighter weight, where when you say, hey dude, I don't really like this one anymore, I want new content, we're not stuck in some uh forever game that
Yeah.
we have to drag, for you guys. Should be able to make you guys a new experience that you guys are gonna have fun with.
All right. How do I say patching? Is it pachinko? Am I saying it wrong?
Pachinko.
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 Yeah.
What a fucking stupid
This is
name. But
this
anyway.
is shit.
But yeah,
It's
no,
just
exciting
Shaman
things, bro.
all over again.
We have, yeah, Shaman. We have 4 suggestions. Those are there. Let me know what you guys are
Five,
thinking in
five.
preference. 5. I'm an idiot. 5.
Unless you are eliminated.
I
Endless
was
runner.
eliminating casino
Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Oh,
because
interesting. Okay.
I was eliminating casino, bro. If you're telling me it's not gonna work in the US, what the fuck do I want casino for? I'm in the US. The fuck?
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that you fucking did weird stuff to
Yeah, yeah.
get access to
It
something, but it
might
definitely
inspire
would
my
not
next
be.
move. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also hate Xanatos, and it was his suggestion. So, but I think yeah, this is gonna be a fun time. The 4 suggestions are there. Let me know what you guys think. What's your preferences right now? For me, yeah, tower defense or pachinko. What about you, Logic? Where you at?
I mean, I am really intrigued by the casino thing. But I mean, like you said, it's banned here, so I don't know, man.
Banhammer.
Just because there's no accessibility for us here. I mean, the closest casino we have is like, I think in the Indian Reserve,
You don't want to go
which
casino,
is
bro. I was addicted to the casino at the
yeah,
age of
they're
18,
fun,
and I lost
bro. When
everything.
it's so itchy to like,
We could.
you know.
So there's other ways to do similar systems. Like there are like wager things where it's not about, playing versus the house. It's player versus player, right?
Hmm.
So one idea that we were joking about is like fucking poke the Moki, where you do 8 players go into a room, they all take turns poking the Moki, at a random interval, Moki eliminates one of you. So you guys all put in
This
like
is
two
like
Rons.
Russian roulette, Moki.
Right. And then once somebody gets eliminated, you guys can decide whether you want to leave with that person split or press your luck and keep going. And it just like eliminates you until, there's a super majority vote or there's one winner. Right. And that would be something that's more like PvP wager versus like Gamba.
Hmm.
So like those are ways to think about it, but it's yeah, if we did like card games and stuff like that, that would be totally not
Not
available.
good. I
Yeah,
see.
yeah,
Which
yeah.
is not
Because
available.
I recently got into poker. Like my friends here, they're like, "Yo, let's do poker night," sort of thing. I mean, it's all fun. We don't,
I'm
gamble or
calling the
anything.
feds.
Nah, I'm
It's
calling the
just
cops.
no,
Yeah.
no, it's just for fun. It's just just the game, No money involved, nothing like that.
I'm literally on the
Um,
phone with the FBI right now.
Yeah.
and it's just like a fun thing, We just get together, hang out, drink, and
When you get arrested by the FBI, can I have your Mokis?
yo, no
Right.
money involved, dude. All
Can you?
just the games, man. All
If
just
so,
games.
can you send them over right now? Because the FBI is already on their way to your house. Quick before they get.
You just hear a loud boom and crash in the background at Logic's. They're coming through the windows, bro. Now, I mean,
That reminded me, I have to send you that ninja logic, but I guess I don't
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
now.
You
because
almost
I
rugged
called
me.
the
I
cops.
DM'd you yesterday. I was like, damn, I'm getting rugged by
yeah,
my own boss.
yeah, rugged.
That's
It
Web3.
took a leaf out of my book. Nah, yeah, I do. I get it. I do get it. I do get it. This is probably like without Bruce's explanation. I think poke the Moki was like a new Gen Z term for something else. But like, I could see the appeal. But yeah, for me, I don't really want to have to. Like, I don't want to go to Moku for that experience now yet. I think when it's much more built out and it's an option of multiple experiences, it makes more sense to me. Whereas like now I feel like build out game experiences actually have people, have some fun experiences in a game style. I know these are games, and if it's card games, it's card games. If it's roulette, then it's roulette. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck, bro? It's gonna be fun. Am I muted? What the fuck is going on?
It's cutting in and out, and I don't know what's happening. Like it sometimes happens, sometimes it does. I wouldn't
Some
know.
people are saying it's fine. Some people saying silent mode. Anyway,
Cutting out the tone for me. So.
N-E way. N-E to the way. Yeah. Just give us a game. Don't do the fucking casino. Xanatos, shut up. It's not happening. Fuck the casino off. We'll do that later. Hopefully it's legal at that point. But I just feel like a game experience is much better, and it gives a much more attachment to the Moki itself, in my opinion. But there's 5 options. This is a decentralized process. You guys have the say. So, of course, do not fade it, because you'll be part of the experience and you will have effective cause on what happens. So what would you like to see? Let us know in the chats right now where your preference is. You can say 1, 2, 3, or 4, because 5 as well, because there are those options, and we'll get a little consensus right now if you guys are feeling that, if you're down for it. Thanks for that, Geese. 6 is yeah, it's funny. You get the funny man award for today. Great.
I will say we did weighted voting, so this is going to be our first time giving some extra juice to collectors and people who are collecting rare Mokis. Got mixed reviews. Most people in the curator's chat enjoyed it. Most people in the game chat just like emojied it, and Kez took issue with some of the scoring. So make your voices heard, or I'm just gonna pick, and we'll deal with it when it happens.
Yeah, we got to switch
There was some thought
on.
around it. Yeah, there was some thought around it. So we definitely put work in to design it, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be initially right. The final voting system will be much more nuanced. We just did not have the time to do that.
Making a tweet.
We're going to create a poll in a dedicated channel, RoboCop.
Making a tweet. Look, okay, we're back. We're back in the building. All right, let's go. We got some other stuff to talk about. I want to actually boost the fuck out. This is a conversation that I've been having with people behind closed doors and publicly now on Twitter. I cannot believe I have no fucking idea how this game is so overlooked. Literally zero idea. I logged back into the Machines Arena yesterday. The game is phenomenally better than it was prior and the experiences that I had before. This fucking game is the best and most well put together experience, arguably, on Ronin as a whole game right now. I'm not even trying to like reach on that one. That's genuinely how I feel logging back in and playing it yesterday. The play to airdrop is live right now, so if you want incentives and all you do is fucking farm crypto from games, cool. We're in the right place to do that. But this is one that is opportunistic right now. There is available. I don't know why TMA is not a bigger conversation. And yes, you could talk about it. It's the player liquidity. Bruce just said the PvP is kind of like a cannibalizing environment, because if one game has players, another game might lack players because they are in the same ecosystem or the same communities, and they are choosing timeshare elsewhere. But right now, for me, the most slept on game in this entire fucking industry is TMA. But we played it yesterday. It was a lot of dopamine. You can check out the leaderboards and how people are faring. Skin ownership is a big factor, but of course there are these quests and events. And I played yesterday for quite a few hours and achieved quite a bit in terms of like these actual quests. So the dopamine was hitting. It was hitting. Berlin is number one because he has like 5 pages of epic skins. So yeah. That's what I said when I saw Berlin number 1. I was like, bro, aren't you supposed to be making a game right now? The fucking
Get on the fucking leaderboard, dude.
So, but yeah, I mean, if you haven't played TMA, oh shit, yeah, if you haven't played TMA, like you really gotta get in there and try it, especially now with the revamped graphics. It looks cleaner. There's no bugs. You know, I mean, that's a bold statement. There's no bugs. You might find a bug, but it actually hit that dopamine factor that Lumaterra didn't give me yesterday. Like I played Lumaterra for 3 hours, wanted to die, and then went and played TMA and was like, I saw Jesus, you know? So, and if you are looking to play TMA, join the Moku, which for some reason is Woku. Shout out to the Woku gang out here. But you can take this code, the team code right here that you see on the screen, copy that and paste it into your team's section. You'll see you will then join the Moki gang, and you'll contribute towards that team's points. If you're in a team, you get extra points in the airdrop anyway, so it's a no-brainer. And of course, there's different status of VIP. We're all the way up here, bro. But 400 points extra a day, helping me out. But yeah, it's arguably right now, especially with Axie off season, Metamorphosis is in there. We're going to talk about that next. But with all the things that have concluded recently, Forgotten Runeverse CBT ended. My heart wanted to cry 1,000 fucking tears. And obviously Axie season being in off season, and Wild Forest P2A just finishing. You know, this now to me is like where a lot of my attention is shifting. And I'd like to see more of you guys in there, because it is a competitive PvP, and I want to talk shit because you lot are trash, and I will blow you away. All right?
Well, I guess one thing, Gila, right? So I will be very honest. I've been fading, okay? And
Yeah.
I know yesterday you and Ghostin and all the guys in Moki's corner were just like hacking away and playing.
Yeah.
What is it that changed that was like, yo, this is actually now hitting super hard, and I can't believe I haven't been playing this? Like, what's that one thing that goes on top of your mind? You're like, yo, why the fuck was I fading this shit? Like, I should have not been fading.
Playing multiple other Web3 experiences and knowing how fucking or poorly put together a lot of the infrastructure is of the game, and realizing that they've taken this a step further. It feels now not like a beta. It now feels like an actual game. You have your menu selections. These aren't things that make me want to play. I'm just saying that the things that have definitely improved since playing it last It just felt like more of a game. But in game, the graphics are a lot tighter. There's variations in terms of what you can play. You can play quick play. You can play ranked mode. Ranked mode is relevant. There is a leaderboard for that. There is now a leveling system. Of course, that was implemented before, but I didn't play it when it was. So the prior time to me playing this was like there was none of this. But the leveling system matters. The quests and events, now I have a reason to play. Like before I would play, and because I enjoy playing Tesla, I would play Tesla for 5 hours and probably exhaust my dopamine on that. But now I have a reason to pivot into Ozymandias. I have a reason to use Dei. I think it is a lot to do with these quests and the guided incentive driver. And then also the matchmaking is a lot better. Like even in a 2-man team, me and Ghostin, we found games within 1 minute, within a minute 30, 2 minutes if it's taking a little longer. The connection issues weren't bad. We played with Kirika, who's in I don't want to dox him, but Southeast Asia region. No lag, no issues. And those things were all problems prior that made me just not want to go back in. I never thought TMA was a bad game. It was just the pain points of lack of matchmaking and lack of incentive to return. Like, yes, it's a good game, but at that time it was only good to go head to head in a competitive environment. So like we did back in the inception was build out our own tournaments, was to go to tournament organizers and say, you need to put a tournament on for this. And that was the dopamine. But now the dopamine comes from just the generic involvement in the game, and obviously with the P2A being an addition to that. But yeah, leveling up and having that player progression, ranked mode, and having the leaderboard presence and progression in that regard, and then the quests and events, which is also the airdrop progression. So those three things have now made me think, fuck, why am I not playing this game?
Yeah, and I think that's one thing too. Like I'm seeing it in your screen, like the quests. And I think you make a really good point there. I think quests in any game, much like quests in our Moku HQ platform, right? It just really makes sense. It is the dopamine receptors. It's the same thing with Forgotten Universe, dude. The quests guided us through the entire process, the entire game. And I do believe that these games coming into our ecosystem or coming into our radar, as long as they have a solid quest line, something that players are guided through, it makes the most sense. And speaking of quests, Gila, I know we have a quest in the Moku HQ platform, guys. Call to action right now is get the fuck on the platform because we have a quest. And the quest is called Ronin Radio in Moku Discord. It is a code quest. And Gila, would you like to give them the code?
Yeah, we have a code for you guys today. Of course, one of the heaviest topics where we began the show was based on the 2 new game arrivals. Their genre is our code today, and that is none other than MMORPG. Type it all in, all caps, no spaces. Pretty easy. Submit, and you get yourself a point. High five. Well done. But thank you guys for coming through. And yeah, bro, go get your points. Of course, you guys can see Moki game is being developed. Well, it's not being developed, it's being selected, and then development will start. So, of course, activity on this platform. I'm gonna just tell you now. I don't know how. There is not an exact route. I don't have a guide for it, right? But your involvement, your participation, your histrionics on Moku platform will be valid, right? So if you're not completing your tasks every single day, I don't know what's going on. I understand if you don't play certain games, you don't have access to do certain things, but there are a lot of quests daily that are there. And of course, if you're a Moki holder, you already have daily quests that you can go and achieve. And of course, bro, if you ever find yourself bored, waiting, doing nothing, Moki Pochi is there to entertain you. And of course, you can just flip some coins if you're a degenerate fuck, but that's up to you. But yeah, man, go do your tasks and get those points in, bro. I'm level 12. I feel like I'm making moves, bro. I don't know what the leaderboard system is.
You gotta check your mail, bro. Maybe you got something.
Congrats on winning a Lumitera clone. Yeah, that's what I won. I won Death by Lumitera. I'm joking. Shout out to Lumitera. It's actually a fun experience. I'm going to play it again today when the maintenance is finished. Where's the leaderboard, though, bro? Let me check it. All time. Let's use this. Shout out to Seth in the chat, bro. Seth in the chat is up here on the all-time leaderboards. I see you, bro. Shout out to you. And Bubblegum Violence, actually fucking revoke the shout out. Fuck you. But yeah, level 30. You guys are killing it, bro. Killing it, killing it. Shout out to you
Yeah.
lot, man.
Bro, Goku's been on the leaderboards like pretty much number one every single leaderboard.
I
Like
said
this
Axie
guy,
Goatku.
like yeah, like he's the fucking goat, dude. Like so, shout out to Axie Goku, man.
Yeah.
And
But seeing a lot of
keep
names, man,
grinding.
this is how I know if you're a community member or not. Delete him from the leaderboard.
Yeah, take Xanatos out. He's Max Fudder, bro. Like
Max Fud.
Max
Max Fud.
Xanatos, bro.
But yeah, keep doing this. I'm slacking, bro. I thought I was doing something. Had motion. I'm an asshole. What the fuck? Level 13. It's unlucky for some. I need to get to. I'm not even level 13, but anyway. But yeah, you should be doing your tasks. You know what it is. Go ahead and claim your points, man. Go ahead and claim 8 pages of tasks to be doing today. I know a lot of them are with the Kaijiro clan battles right now. You know, I don't really want to go into that conversation. So.
Damn, I was about to ask you, like, have you played?
No, I'm not touching it. The
Kaijiro.
barge pole. So sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. It has things it needs to improve on. That's it.
The thing is, like, you know, I'm just like, this is where you want to. Well, this is what you want to know, right? We're in the crypto industry. There's a lot of shit happens. Desensitized to a lot of things, but like, I just don't do the beat around the bush thing. I'll be honest. I just don't do it. I'm not gonna do it, bro. And Kaijo clan battles, for me, has so many good elements in terms of the game that it can be, but in reality, when I play that game, I don't feel it. That's it right now. I just don't get that dopamine feeling from it. It doesn't feel too enjoyable for me personally. That's my personal take, right? I'm just not there with it. I would much rather play the Machines Arena right now, but don't get me fucked up. Kaidro as an IP, Kaidro as a team behind the IP, Kaidro as a whole, as a project, is fucking phenomenal. It has a clear stake in this industry for what they've done to this point. You know, at one time they were putting records on Mavis Market for the free mint, which shout out to Play Fight League because they actually trumped that. We didn't talk about that. We can talk about it towards the tail end of this show. But they've made their claim in this industry. You can see the vision. I'm more than excited when it comes to the development of the lore and the story. The comic series is usually successful, you know, and where do we go from there? I personally think the next priority for that project should be the animation, 100 million%. The game obviously should be high priority, but I think we've seen the game take a pathway that it's taken right now where it's still kind of beta and it's still testing phases because it's just bottom line, it's not ready for a mass release. It's not ready to be on Steam as like an open game and tell your mom, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your fucking dog to go and play the game right now because it's in my opinion, it's just not in that position yet. So there's time to be taken with that. If the project simply was just that game and a PFP, alarm bells are, yeah, alarm bells, but that's not the case. Kaijiro is a phenomenal IP and there's much more happening than that. I just think right now, personally, for me, the game is very difficult to play.
Yeah. I mean, to kind of follow along the being more candid, because I do try to like, you know, sugarcoat a little bit just because I don't want to like offend anyone part of the team. Obviously, I want them to succeed. We all want them to succeed, you know, like us as a community as a whole is the strongest thing here in the Web3 gaming ecosystem. But I mean, I do 100% agree with Gila. The IP is amazing. Is it possible for them to like be the media source mainly for I guess like a Ronin based IP? Like they could just focus on the anime or the webtoons because those are amazing. I know my friend IRL, which Gila and Fit have met. His name's KT or Kevin. Is he loves Kaijro and he would text me and be like, "Yo, do you read the webtoon?" I'm like, "I haven't, but I know you love it. You know, if I had more time, I definitely would." And that IP is just great. The webtoon, anime, what they have in production in line. I'm super excited about it.
Yeah.
The game
The,
to me feels kind of like it feels like a side quest in a way. Like the main quest is the animation, the main quest is the webtoon. The side quest is kind of the game. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just like fucking not with it.
yeah,
So definitely correct me.
you know, I fucking love Peggy and Robert. I think they're amazing founders, very public facing, very vocal, and they've created something phenomenal. It really is amazing. So, like, there's no malicious intention by the saying the things that we're saying, but I just genuinely think, like, you know, the where you lean into the strengths, right? And like they're here on Ronin because of the game element. We're a gaming blockchain, so there needs to be a game, and I have concern around the fact of like the game is there just so it meets that standard. But for me personally, if I was, you know, in the team of Kydro or Kydro, and it's not my baby, right? So fucking who am I to say this? But like everything ties more in towards like a deeper game than like this quick loop combat. And although the combat is interesting, it was a completely new style. You know, they brought 3v3v3 with boss raids into this whole experience. And I feel like it was you know when you're trying not to reinvent the wheel, like because you're not trying to reinvent the wheel, right? But there it was like we need to put so many unique factors, those USPs. Hello, we learned something today. These unique selling points in this game to really make it stand out, when I think standalone the IP already stands out. So if you can align players and fans' passion with the IP with a game experience, I don't think you need to do that much extensive or different things in your game to kind of draw that crowd in. And it just felt a bit confusing for me. Like the 3v3v3 is cool, but then you add the boss raids in it. I think the structure of it was poorly put together. I think the boss in the center of the map should be a final aspect, and there should be side bosses. You should incentivize team versus team interactions across the map in multiple destinations throughout a time, and it's literally like you're swaying. Then there's movement involved, there's positioning involved. You need to stay together as a team to secure certain areas. You go and take down the mini bosses, which contribute in points. Then the kills contribute in points to a certain degree, and it becomes a larger equation when you get to the boss at the end, where yes, the boss at the end, and it should be one time, because then it doesn't feel like a boss if it fucking spawns 7 times in a game. That's a misquote, but whatever. But you get to this climax point where at any point the game can sway, and you're also moving around the map, being tactical. That was where I thought it was going to be. And then first-hand experience, getting in the game and realizing everyone just circles around the center, and the only thing that really matters is if you kill this boss or not. Also with the last hit factor is frustrating in many factors. We're seeing it in Lumitera. If it's in Kydro, it's frustrating too. I just think complexity could be added, and restructuring to the actual the game itself. Like what is the point of this game? Like how do you win? Is there one way to win, or is there multiple? And does it become now more of a tactical battle between team and team and team? I think it could go further in that direction than where it was now. Like it was like all unique points, but it don't really make sense. But they're unique and they're cool, but they don't mesh as well as I would have liked them to. And if advice is needed, I'll give advice. You can tell me I'm a fucking cunt and shut up. I wouldn't be offended. I've been told that many times before. But yeah, ultimately, I just think we could see a little bit more. And I just think their talents lie more heavily in the lore building. And if you have that good lore, do I want, a lawless game experience? Or would I want a game where I'm experiencing more of the story or expanding upon the story I know? But that's enough. Kydro is a incredible project on Ronin. I'm holding all assets. I'm staking. The synergy is important for me. I think they're going to do a tremendous job. We look at things like Forgotten Runeverse and how royalty distribution towards a community has already worked, and there's an infrastructure example of that. And I think Hydro could lean into it, and we could see something really, really interesting in the future. And that's something that I'm foundationally stood on, and I won't sway with where that opinion lies, because I genuinely think Hydro is an IP that is a mold breaker. It will break the mold. It will break into the masses. So
Yeah. Something that clicked in my mind when you were talking about how like Hydro has deep lore and amazing lore is, I mean, even having like an experience to where you're guided through the webtoon or the anime or the lore on a possible single player or maybe like very limited amount of players with you to, you know, going through the episodes of each webtoon sort of thing would honestly make a lot of sense too. Um, Leaning on lore for sure. Because
it
right
just
now, like,
feels like more of a game that should be an RPG than this
yeah,
PvP battler.
I agree with that. Yeah, thinking about it more, I definitely agree with that. Like RPG element, nothing really like arena based. Yeah, you can have arena based stuff, especially for PvP lovers out there. But as a PvP lover myself, at the moment, it's also not hitting. So we'll see, man. I'm just hoping they take the feedback in the positive light, and you know, it's not looked at as like, yo, we're like budding or shitting on the project. We're not. We want it to be better. Hence, we're voicing it out.
Yeah, the only
In
reason
this
that
manner.
I even care to give concern is because I care about the outcome of this experience. Ultimately, I'm
Yeah.
very, very invested in terms of faith with Peggy and Robert and the whole team behind Kydra. They've done phenomenal things. So, it's an evolving story, and we'll see where it goes. We'll be there to support throughout, and in my opinion, honesty is support. A lie is a lack of care. There you go. There's the tea. Let's circle back to some things we haven't even covered, bro. It's 2 hours deep, and we haven't even touched off-season metamorphosis. Is Stark still in the building?
Yeah. Stark, you here?
Yes.
Nice.
Have you even touched the off-season yet? Find some chats to post.
There's nothing much going on, I think, at the moment. We're waiting for stuff. But...
Well, I saw this post by Jatster the other day. Where is it? This right here.
Patch notes were yesterday or the day before, I think.
They might be here in the Discord, in the Axie Discord, right?
There's very little balance change, so we'll see. But the strong stuff has been balanced. We'll see.
Well, Stark, how are you feeling about Axie and metamorphoses, and like, do you have plan to get like a full collectible team and metamorph them, and like what are you thinking?
I'm gonna be real with you guys. Last week when Jiho said Axie Origins is dead to me until they work on PvE, I was like, holy shit.
Wait, Rage was untouched?
Rage is untouched.
Apparently there was a bug too with like Sturdy Fighter, which I had no idea because I just played the card and it just does damage. But a bug energy drink apparently had a bug, literally a bug, that it just granted you a bonus shield. Rage is okay, bro. Like you can actually beat Rage, but you beat Rage with mainly like AoE. So maybe you're just not playing the right team. You can't play Sustain, and you can't play Poison, which I think those two are the teams you like. Looking at your camera, yeah, I think you got Poison, bro. What's happening?
His camera's frozen.
Yeah. I wonder how long he'll stay in that position.
Yo, somebody please fucking screen cap that and make it
Yeah, I'm putting this as a timestamp, by the way. I've been taking timestamps. So this is gonna be a timestamp, bro.
Are you
Someone
fucking
captioned it and be
serious?
like,
You didn't
yo.
change Rage. You didn't touch Rage. You didn't do anything to Rage, bro. To make me rage. I thought, yeah, Jesus. I thought it was ironic.
You play the teams that are countered by Rage.
Listen, when a team can go 3 rages with 5 energy on turn 2, you don't think there's a fucking problem. And then by the fucking turn 7 or turn 8, they're doing it again. You don't think there's an issue. And at the same time, you're drawing 3 extra cards and cycling your deck twice as fast. You don't think there's an issue. I don't
I
know.
think it's not OP, to be honest.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
you're just you remember that happens in 1 in 10 games, and that's all you remember.
Oh, whatever,
Yeah,
you
it's 1 in
cursed
10
deck
games, bro.
abuser. Just because you make them have 500 cards in their deck means it's not overpowered to
There's
you.
also a counter, bro, that's built in the game.
I just
What
want
did I tell
to.
you?
Dispel. It's just
Yeah, it's called
When
Black Sage, brother.
Yeah.
It's Black Sage. That's it. You get multiple Black Sages, and you're like, oh, you want to rage? Not today, boy. Goddamn.
No, facts. Listen, who gives a fuck, bro? Actually, PvE is coming anyway, bro. That's what I'm looking forward to. But these balance changes, I haven't even looked at them. I don't normally look at them until the season starts. That's an honest take. But yeah, PvE, when though, bro? Because I thought this off season they'd start implementing it. So hopefully we see something soon. Is this literally the only changes that happened?
No, there's more. There's more. Like click the runes.
Oh yeah, wait, sorry, I don't know how to use Excel because do I look like someone that uses Excel? No. Anyway.
The tabs. Yeah. You see, we got new
We got
starters,
Hope.
bro. They look hella cute.
Hope and Shilling. Well, we know about Shilling. This Shilling is gonna make Sustain even worse. Let me tell you, it's about destroying
Fuck
shields.
Sustain. Yep.
And then Hope looks like she is going to make sponge comps a joke. More bubbles, the better. I didn't even have to read that. I looked at the rubber ducky and the innocent lamb, and I was just like, it kind of looks like sponge. And then I saw more bubbles. Don't even fucking piss me off. I will. You know. Okay, we'll see. There'll be multiple rage sessions happening in Moki's corner when the season starts again. We'll test. I'm already a sticker. Is that how fast you guys work? Jesus, you guys are faster than the bridge closing down.
You guys
Anyway.
have to caption it at least. Can we get a caption?
How did we get here? Oh no.
Yeah, when it's spammed, it looks like you just have a long head. When it's like super small. You see it?
Hey Gila, you've got a long head. Yeah, awesome.
No, when it's like super small, that's why.
Yeah, well,
I'm excited, man. I mean, these starters though, they're only really good in motherfucking rare era. You seldomly see them in like epic or mystic or final because they're like rare era axes and they are fun to mess around with. I mean, bubbles getting stronger, I kind of agree with. They did fall off for a little bit. I mean, I definitely don't play as much as I used to, but I still pay attention. Axie.top, you know.
Not only did they not touch Rage, they give Hope Rage access with Innocent Lambs. You know what? Just fucking.
Dude, I might make a full Rage starter team with Hope and Bubba and
Yeah, I bet you don't know his name.
Trip.
Trip wouldn't have been where I've gone. It would have been the other one.
What's the other one's name?
The one that wears the pangolin suit.
Yes. Yeah, he's big and he's purple. I'm forgetting his name.
No, I'm joking. I don't know. Anyway, like, to be honest, this is too much information, and I'm just not gonna go through it. So, are we here to do an Axie show? No, we're not. If nobody gives a fuck, then we'll find out on your own time. Right? If let me know, like, put in the chat right now. Do you want to read through this? Because I really don't. Stark, do you care? I just right now don't because I've heard about Rage and that's where I'm at. But yeah.
I mean, I'm interested in this.
It's a very short patch notes.
Yeah, it's really short.
Just
You
don't
should have
read.
seen the other ones, bro.
Check the turnip nerf. That'll cheer you up.
Oh my god, I'm about to fucking scream. Can't be dispelled when the turn ends. This is the current, okay, yeah. Deal damage to random enemy equal to half of the turnip's stats. Prioritizes summons. When the turn ends, deal damage to a random enemy equal to half of the turnip's stats. Oh, it can just be dispelled.
Yeah, you just dispel it. Yeah. Which I don't mind that, not gonna lie.
Yeah. It was stupid.
Fuck
Too
turnip.
many sets.
That shit
Fuck
was
turnip.
dumb as hell.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, how are you just gonna stack turnips and I just die? It's like,
Is this? Am I reading this? right? It's the only card that was nerfed in the whole patch. The patch notes is them nerfing one card.
Well, this
Fucking
is
stupid.
status effects. He's on status effects only. And
Okay,
turnip is a
click on
status
cards.
effect.
Click on cards.
Yeah.
Oh
So
no,
two
this
Feather
gets
cards.
fan too.
worse.
Two cards
No,
were
Feather.
changed then.
Yeah, two cards. Two cards.
Its values changed.
Yeah.
So they changed two cards. The whole patch notes for two cards.
Yeah. How do you feel about that, Stark? Because I know you've been actively playing more than me for sure. What are you thinking? Is there something that should have been like adjusted?
Strawberry is stupid.
Yeah, that shit is pretty like the not anti heal. Sorry,
The fact that
reverse
it's
heal.
like two over 200 damage that you can hold you can hold part of it in your card. It's divisible into three, so you can target three. You can spread it out. You ignore taunt, and in case you don't need to use it, you can just heal yourself.
I think it just does too many things.
Yeah, too versatile for how good it for like. It's just too good.
Yeah.
There's no bad. There's rarely times where you're like, oh no, I wish I didn't draw this.
It's like
But how do we feel about patch notes with only two card changes? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
it could be. I feel like it could be both, right?
Yeah.
Like it could be one a good thing, meaning we're getting towards a more balanced state of Axie, hence we don't need to adjust too many things nowadays. Or two, it could be spun as bad, saying there's other more broken things that didn't get looked at and it needs to be looked at, such as your example of strawberry. So it could be both.
There's
It could be both.
there's only one reality here. There's the truth, and there's whatever the fuck you want to convince yourself to believe. The truth is, PVE is coming, and changing a fuck ton of cards with PVE incoming is probably bug city central. You know, so they kept it minimalistic. They're gonna add the PVE, and then they'll probably revisit some of these patch notes or whatever.
There's not that many cards that needed changing. I think the
But you
leaderboard
think
for-
Feather Fan needed more damage with the way the fucking Feather Descent goes on?
it got
Well, that's only in Mystic Era, though.
I don't give a shit.
Wait,
But that's where the crunch
Feather
time
Fan
matters,
got
bro.
buffed?
But it got buffed by 2 attack.
I thought it used to deal 3 hits still? Jesus.
It got buffed by
Oh,
2
God.
attack. For what reason? I don't know.
2 attack on non-evolved, 3 attack on evolved.
Yeah.
Feather Fan
So
did
like
not
a
need a buff.
10% change.
Yeah.
10% buff.
For what reason? Like it wasn't already fucking does ridiculous damage? Oh no. Why Feather Fan? Why? I don't know. But listen, I'm not here to like, shit on people.
I'm glad Turnip was nerfed. It was the most stupid card of the whole season. If there was one nerf needed, it was dude, come on.
Yeah, I agree.
There's a reason you were playing it instead of poison, bro. Don't be burn that stupid turnip. I hate the vegetable as well, so
I agree. Nice.
Oh, look at all these. Yeah. Just Gina CC. Just send to Stark.Ron and I'll release it.
Yeah.
No, come on. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It'll still be playable, dude.
It's still playable. Just people can just tech in Black Sages or Rondas or.
Bruh, he's not doing this. Please don't. Please don't.
Oh, he'll do it, bro. The more you tell him not to do something, he'll actually do it. He just lost like
$100.
$100.
Yeah.
It'd be like that.
And that's what I think of the patch notes. Hopefully my bounty quest is releasing Axie today. That would help.
Yeah, fuck it, right? Money is
It's a construct.
yeah, it's just a number. It doesn't even exist in nature. It's not real.
I like that Jinx was buffed.
Fuck off, Stark.
So I will not be releasing any Jinx Axies.
Well, speaking of which, Jinx Axes, right? Are you still using like the Inkling, Tadpole, Garish, Parasite, Neo, Double Talks? Is that still the?
It depends. In rare era, I guess yes, and then swirl on the ear is good.
Yeah, for Epic and Mystic, right?
Yeah, and then just it's really good against bleed and poison.
Oh, I'm super happy they kind of kept it the same archetype because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have a full set of
mm,
Jinx Axes and
yeah. You
yeah.
need you need an aqua now though for epic, and yeah, but yeah, you need a good bug. My bug is level 35, so
Yeah,
I
I have
played
a
it a
bug,
lot
a
this season.
mech, a dusk, a reptile, and dawn, and I forgot the last class
Rod, I
that I
hate
have.
these like disrespectful offers on your axes that are level almost level 40. Like you've played an axie for 3 seasons and people offer you like the floor of a build when you have 3 upgraded parts. You should be able to like refuse an offer and send some form of "fuck you" emote.
But you can set
No,
set
not for specific axes.
no, but for like an overall thing, you can set
Yeah,
the.
but I'm not gonna refuse offers under $70 or $100. That would be silly.
Okay. Well, um,
Hopefully, the offer system at some point gets reworked or added features to. There's a lot of possibilities.
yeah. Well, I mean, there's nothing else that really fucking. It's just me and this patch notes. I think we did a good deed today. We deleted the amount of supply on turnips by 4. Um, I'm for the people. If you don't
You
want to
should
see
buy
turnip,
some on the you should buy some on the marketplace and release them.
Yeah. If you're really trying to do a good deed, I feel like you should go that extra
There's still
mile,
80 there's 83,000 turnip axes. I think if you bought like
Like
a
30
clean
of
thousand,
them.
a clean
Yeah.
1,000 or 30, but 1,000 is better. And then you
I
can
don't
release them
know
since
if
you
you
seem to hate
think
money. So
my money stretches that long. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. The reason I did like I okay here is I played turnip last season as a joke, right? With these axes that I found very early on before turnip got reworked, right? And then I bred some, and they were fun because you turnip, inner lamp, Nemo it away, bumpy out the card, out the deck,
yeah,
sorry, and you just have a little thin deck, and topaz is fun, right? Then I was like, wait, but like now people are actually on the leaderboards with turnip. Okay, and then I looked to see what it was. I saw what it was. I went and bought a team. It cost me $150, and I hated every moment of the Mystic era and the final era, and I couldn't believe I was playing the comp I was playing, but I was locked in, right? So what I just did right there with the releasing is breaking the chains that I thought I was bound by. Oh my god, I have to do this because of $150. You know what? Nah. Break the chain. Throw it in the trash. I'm never playing turnip again, and they have nerfed it anyway. So it is what it is. I abandoned my one true love, which is poison.
what if it's good in PVE?
I don't give a shit. It's gone. I could no
It's
longer
gonna
care.
count.
Yeah, I could
Why
no
couldn't
longer
you have
care.
sold it
I could have
instead?
actually gifted it to people in chat. Now that I'm thinking about it, it would have been
Yeah.
a lot better. But
Like for
Yeah,
the community.
thinking is overrated, bro.
I had a nip slip. Yeah, my nips fell out. But no, yeah, I just honestly number one content. Fuck it, bro. Release them bitches. But um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't have an explanation, bro. I just don't want them in my account anymore. I don't want to have to look at it. It reminds me of a dark place I went to last season. All right, and season 10. It's a new era. It's a double digit. The beginning and the closure of a decade of seasons. I'm going to go back to what I know, which will be poison. But Metamorphosis is coming in, so that means it doesn't matter because next season we're going to be playing with my good mate DJ. All right, and we're going to get this poison really firing. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it ends up looking for the season. I don't know how Aqua is going to help me in any way. Like, if I was to build a poison team around this, there is not an Aqua rune or charm or anything specific to Aquas that help me in poison, right? So, it's another
Epic
thing.
era.
You have
Epic.
Last Wish.
Last Wish.
Well, yeah, but that I'm talking about
And look at
the Aqua.
Spikes as well.
Yeah,
but
Spikes got
also-
revamped. Spikes is going to be interesting. I really wanted Spikes to work for a long time, and then I
Last
just
Wish is a
gave up.
Last Wish is a neutral rune, so you can put it on.
Yeah, you can put it on anything. I know. But I'm just saying, like, it being an Aqua, it just means, like, because a lot of the time you want to lean into, like, certain body types because the runes enhance the strategy, and I just don't think anything Aqua related would do that. The neutral, yes, it would, but I got to wait for Epic Era and not Rare. And in Rare, what would we be doing?
Something in Rare.
Yeah, exactly. So
Play
difficulties
because
there.
you can change all 6 parts on it. You can play another
I'll tell you what.
archetype. You could switch his back to Turnip in Rare Era and play Turnip next season in the Rare
Please,
Era.
please shut up, please.
Yeah, that's true. The energy poison, what Trevor was saying.
The first dot Ron in
I
the
thought
chat,
about that
I
too.
see. I'm giving this to. I did say dot Ron.
Nice.
I did say dot Ron. Kitty Cat, I love you so much, bro. But I did say dot Ron.
Machado.
Right, let me.
Well, it's been a time. I have to go, unfortunately, but
So
send
long.
it over. to Machado.
Farewell. Machode. It literally says Machode. Anyway. Yeah, I think we're going to circle back and just look at the Lumitera announcements because they did say that they've updated certain things. I'm going to see what it is. But yeah, it's been an episode today. I'm going to close it out properly after the Lumitera updates. If you're offended by my releasing of Axes, I don't fucking care. But, I appreciate all the great changes in Axie today. Fucking amazing, fantastic. Where is Lumitera? Here it is. Announcements. Let's see what they got to say. The wait is over. No, okay, well that's not it. Server update. Lumitera update announcement happened at 10:49, which is like 30 minutes ago. Hey adventurers, the server will be online in 30 minutes. Okay, so it's probably going to be online as soon as we finish. And we've got some exciting updates for you today. Here's what's new. Quest completion issues. The problem preventing some quests from being completed, is fixed. Let me actually get a screen share on this so you guys can see it, and I'll just look at that. Screen one, go. And let's go back. Experience without drops. Killing monsters, gathering resources, or harvesting crops will now correctly provide both experience and drops. Homestead planting. You can now plant seeds in your homestead without any issues. Random token quest gear level. The gear level for a random token quest is now properly adjusted. I believe this means if you level up, you'll get quests within your level bracket. Event boss combat. Fix the issue with bosses resetting during combat. That would have been crazy. PvEP training ground drops. Equipment will now correctly drop in the PvEP training grounds without any death penalties. Today's optimizations are leaderboard reward distribution. Improved the reward distribution mechanism for leaderboards, which will be back to normal tomorrow. Experience for level 0 monsters. You will now gain more experience for defeating level 0 monsters. Energy alerts for harvesting. Added alerts for insufficient energy when harvesting in farms, and reputation increase for previous leaderboard achievements. Players who have previously made it onto the leaderboard and claimed rewards will now gain additional reputation points. So a lot of things changed. I don't know if this tackles any of the direct issues. You guys can talk amongst yourself whether this is good or not. All right, but yeah, thank you guys for coming through to today's show. It was lastminute.com. It happened. We were here for a while. There was enough news to talk about. I hope you are enjoying your silly little crypto games in a time where blood is spilling out everywhere. What I will say is it's more opportunity, especially when there is actually, it's a fire sale, in my opinion, personally. Just going to say it like that. No financial advice. Don't listen to me. I'm a fucking idiot. I just discarded $150 worth. So what do you think financial advice from me would be like? Terrible. But I see more opportunity. And of course, stay the course, where we got a lot of games to play. I can't wait for Forgotten Runiverse to come back. We'll also be looking at Ragmon CBT potentially this month as well. If you're playing Lumaterra right now, play it till your heart content, or until at least you cramp in your index finger and have to take a time out. And make sure you are doing your silly little games like TMA, Airdrop right now, Axes in the off season. Go test it out. And of course, a lot of other things are going down. Go try Kydro if you heard our conversation on it. Go and try it and give us your feedback as well. The honesty is the best policy. Shout out to whoever made the fucking sticker of me. I don't know how you act so fast, but geez, I might give you a job. And thank you to Finn for coming through. Bill Gaines was here earlier. Shout out to Bruce, and of course, shout out to Mr. Stark for being here today. I always love it when you do join us here on the show. And yeah, we'll be back on Thursday. We are going to start moving towards this one show a week. I just didn't want to not run the show today after making no official announcements about it. Another little leakage here for you guys being here right at the end. There's something coming this week. Something coming out of Moku. And don't get weird about it. I know I said it's coming out of Moku, but yeah, just relax. But yeah, by the end of the week, you guys should have some fun content to consume. All right. But we are going to be heading over to Moki's Corner. I'm going to be playing Lumaterra. So if you want to come and play with moi and a couple of the Moki gang's loyalists, we'll be in there for the rest of today, it looks like. So you got some people to play with. If you got any questions, bring them there. We'll help out as much as we can. And yes, Sean is saying we have a fireside chat on Friday where we'll be answering a lot of questions and giving you guys some more information on Moki NFTs. So you're not going to want to miss that. Make sure you're doing your daily quests and enjoy the fucking ride. Thank you, Stark. Any last words from you? That's fantastic. Thank you so much for that. All right, then, lads. See you later. We'll be there on Thursday. You know what it is, Ronin Radio. Much love, peace. I'll catch you next time through a window, through a wall, to the sweat drips off my ball. A quack quack. Yes. Who the fuck made me into a sticker, bro? Who made me into a sticker? Who did it? Listen, I'm gonna go for a piss. I'm gonna come back and we're gonna play some Lumaterra and some TMA later on today. Lads, talk to me. I don't actually know why I just released all those axes. It's kind of dumb, but it's done. So what can I say?
Well, at least it makes for an entertaining clip.
Is that not more equity?
I don't know. Maybe it is. I mean, you have to release it as a clip though, before it becomes a clip.
That's true. I could never touch the surface of the earth and I would feel no way about it, but it should. Anyway, I'm going for a piss. I'll be back. I'm actually really mad at the fact that turnip changed. So fuck turnips. Fucking stupid card shit.
So there's one other bird axie that is really high up, and it's this one. I can't believe I matched up with it. This guy's level 57. This is the guy I've been trying to catch up to. My axie is level 55, almost 56. And this is 57. This guy's poised to be the first ever bird, level 60. Can't believe I found it in arena. And getting more AXP than me. Dang.
Who's playing League?
Huh?
Sunflower Sheep playing League.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that. What?
Nothing. I saw in the channel that someone's playing League of Legends.
what happens next turn. I hope I get that Robin. Assert dominance, I will do my best. Kept so many cards. Hey, there it is, Pugger. Wait, I can't trigger again. Ah, that's actually bad. Never mind. I needed one of these cards to come back. None of them did, so I guess we don't.
Yo, Gila,
Yeah.
you're sharing your whole screen on Twitter Live.
Yeah, fire, bro. Let them read it.
Hello.
Well, it is timestamps and talking about code. So scroll up.
Yes.
All right, Twitter Live, you silly little cunts. I'm gonna play Lumitera now, but not on this account. My camera died as well, so that's fucking awesome.